Hello, it's Molly Reamer with Bridget's Grove and 30 Days of Goddess with this week's mini ritual. And I am using woman runes as well as the 30 Days of Goddess daily practice deck and the Cut Your Own expansions. So from woman runes for this week, we got the Cauldron of Dancing Women, the rune of honor, loyalty, and commitment. So when I see this rune, it reminds me to consider, what am I making commitments to? And it's both about making commitments and promises to yourself and keeping them, but also about the commitments that you make to others. And honestly, the thing that this brings up for me and that it asks you to consider is make your commitment with honor. Don't say, don't click maybe on that Facebook event unless you really are maybe considering going. Don't say yes, you'll do something unless you really feel it as a yes in your bones, unless you're really committed to doing it. Show up with honor, with loyalty and commitment, but choose carefully. I feel like sometimes we are conditioned to say yes right away, especially if it's a good opportunity or if it sounds fun. And then the cauldron asks us, to contain, to kind of, what are we actually able to hold? What are we holding? What are we stewing up? What are we brewing? What is rich and true for us? And so basically, don't make commitments that you can't keep. I mean, and I understand that people have unexpected events, or there's illnesses and there's things that happen. But in general, consider your sacred yes and holy no, and hold them sacred. Keep your word and make it count. So if you probably aren't going to go to something, don't say that you will. If you don't want to take somebody up on an opportunity that they're offering you, say no. Don't string them along. Keep your commitment. Show up with honor, show up with loyalty, show up with commitment, and show up with intention and true desire, not with obligation or force. So that's what's on my mind for the Cauldron of Dancing Women today. Choosing wisely what we actually commit to and then how we show up for it. And then from the Cut Your Own expansion, we got the word close, which could also be read as close. And I think I may never have actually realized until I was doing 30 Days of Goddess that close and close are the same. You know how you just, when you can see it in your head, like Anne without an E or Anne with an E, they sound different to you because you can, well, actually that's not quite a good example, because those sound different because I can see them in my head, but they really are pronounced the same. Close and close are pronounced differently, but when you see it, when you see it in context, you see it as the correct word and you don't realize that they're actually the same. So thinking about close or close, you can ask yourself, what are you keeping close? What is close to your heart right now? Where are the, what is close at hand? And keep the things that nurture you close at hand. Keep the things that nourish your magic close at hand. And hold some things, hold some secrets, hold some wisdom, hold some magic close to your heart. Not everything has to be distributed or made public. Some of it can be held close to your heart. So I can't really think of anything for close right now. So I think it's really meant to be close. Hold some magic close. And then from the daily practice deck, we got wisdom. Hold some wisdom close to you, and trust in that wisdom. Trust in that wisdom that whispers, particularly when you're in solitude, particularly when you are uninterrupted, when you are untethered to technology and outside of the company of other minds. What wisdom is there for you? What wisdom do you hear whispering in the dream time? What wisdom do you hear rising up from inside? What wisdom do you feel in your heart? What wisdom do you see in the landscape around you right now? Hold that wisdom close. And then a practice, trust your joy. I really do think joy can be a signpost in your life map as you orienteer yourself through your own life. Like, what brings you joy? Where do you feel joy? And trust that joy. Trust that joy. And then we have two prayers, one from I didn't pick an affirmation card for today. I need to make some fresh affirmation cards, or perhaps a new booster pack that's just affirmation cards, because I certainly have a lot of them that are available in, meme graphic form, but as far as card based, I don't have as many affirmations close to my fingertips as I would wish for. considering that I've written, you know, hundreds and hundreds of them. You'd think I'd have them at my fingertips. Anyway, so we have two. I'm going to go with this one first, and I'm going to use this one as kind of the affirmation. So, Goddess, guide me. Please walk beside me. Please remind me that I am whole, ebbing and flowing, changing and growing, nourished and knowing, wild and wise. This one can actually be sung as a song, somewhat similar to the tune of Amazing Grace is kind of how it comes out. Not quite, but it kind of comes out that way. So feel free to sing it as you will. And then a closing thought to keep close at hand. May we trust choices that open space around our hearts and rest easy on our shoulders, that balance lightly in the palms, that chime with graceful certainty in the center of our beings. And I do just have one more thing to say about that, is that I really feel like we have, people ask me about how they trust themselves, how do they come to develop self-trust, and I really think a lot of it is feeling where a choice or an experience or decision, feeling where that resonates in the body. And there are choices that open space around our hearts and that feel easy in our hands, that let our shoulders soften, that let our nervous systems relax. There are choices that open space, and then there are choices that constrict and confine and deny. And what I find is you really know the difference. You can feel the difference in your own body with that wisdom and with that joy and with that trust. So may we trust choices that open space around our hearts, and may we show up with honor and commitment. Thanks so much for being here. Have a wonderful week.